What's up, y'all? You know who it is. If this is your first time seeing me, welcome. Today we're drinking some alkaline water, one of my favorite types. Before we get started today, I'd like to thank you for being here. I'd like to say shout out all my friends, all my supporters, all my haters, and everyone in between. Cheers to you. It's a fun little new addition, is it? Yeah. Silver. But for today's video, should be pretty quick. We have ourselves what you might call a roasting, a crucifixion, a rotisserie. We might be blending up a smoothie, cutting up a piece of fruit, whatever you want to call it, right? Now, normally I wouldn't do this, but a rule that I have is to not really speak on other men. I don't think that's a good idea, especially negatively, right? Unless you're speaking from personal experience on an interaction that you had with that person. And even then, that's a slippery slope, man, because that's gossip. But this isn't a man, so those rules don't apply. Now, I found out this person existed because some people have been commenting on my other video that I have about my experience coaching with Wes Watson. If you want to check that video out, you can check it out. I purchased a month from him and ran his program and talk about it in that video. I'm not going to talk about it in this video. I don't like to repeat myself. Now, I wasn't going to make this video because it wasn't really worth my time. But when my subscribers and my commenters ask me what I think about something, I deliver, right? That's what I'm here for. I'm a man of the people. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go ahead and start by watching what's called Fresh and Fit. Now, there's an interaction between my former coach, Wes Watson, and a guy who calls himself Andrew Wilson, right? Now, my name is Andrew, and I want to tell you a little something about what this name means. Andrew comes from the prefix andro, A-N-D-R-O, like in the word androgen or androgenic, which has to do with what testosterone does to the body, right? This name basically means male. Andro, male, at a very simple level, which is why I'm not going to call this individual Andrew. I'm taking his Andrew card, right? His name is now Andrea. Yes. He's been feminized. He's feminized himself. His name is Andrea. And I noticed he has quite a masculine wife, so we're going to call her Richard. So this video is going to be about Andrea and Richard, the happy couple. You may notice I combined their faces and bodies on the thumbnail of this video. And because they have the same exact physique, it didn't really cause much of a change. Same tits, same double chin. You may or may not notice. Now, to all my friends and allies out there who are a little overweight or out of shape, you can fix that. That's something you can work on. No problem. You know, I used to be a little thin. I didn't like that a whole lot. I put some muscle on, right? If you want to lose some weight, you can do that. As long as you're not as weak in the mind or the spirit as these individuals are. I had no idea this person existed or was on this planet until somebody told me to check this video out of the interaction on Fresh and Fit. So I watched it and then I went on my way because I didn't really, it was kind of funny. And then that's it, right? I kept it rolling. But the comments kept coming in and people kept wanting to talk to me about it or wanting me to talk about it. So I did about 10 minutes of research, right? And I came across a video. I think her name is Brittany Venti. is her name. Now, she makes content very different than I do. I think she calls herself a Christian traditional, but I'm not really sure. But I noticed that she had a video on this happy couple. And if you want to know the truth, you can go ahead and watch her video. It's very informative. I'm not going to really go through all the points that she made because she took time to put together like a 40-something minute video. So you go ahead and check hers out if you want. Now, I wasn't even thinking about Andrea or her husband, Richard, until these comments. I did this research. I came across some of these videos, like the Brittany Venti video, some clips from, I believe he calls his show The Crucible, which is kind of funny, but we don't need to get into that. I don't need to say much. She handled them very well. Now, I'm not a hater type of a person, right? If this couple had any value or talent, I would admit it. I would admit it. When I see somebody, even if they talk bad about me, if they have a nice physique, if they have a bank account that's probably impressive, if they have a car that I think is kind of cool, anything about them, right, that I respect or am impressed by, I would mention it. That doesn't apply here, unfortunately. Now, I'll just cover it really quick. First of all, a self-proclaimed man who chain smokes cigarettes, drinks a lot of alcohol, is definitely out of shape, and is an actual scumbag who let his husband, Richard, set his daughter up with a weirdo online who then used her naked pictures to blackmail his family, doesn't get my respect as a man, right? Now, what a man does is, first of all, if you're a straight man, which you don't have to be, but if you're claiming to be a straight man, you're attracted to women. You choose a woman as your partner, right? Step one. Step two. If you're a man, you protect your family. You love your family, right? Now, the first step of protecting your family is being physically, mentally, and spiritually capable of doing so, right? Right. I don't need to explain to you how this is an example of a failure as a man. So if you want to dig into the story and learn about what I'm talking about, like I said, Brittany Venti goes into detail in her video. You can check it out if you want. But really quickly, this is an individual who claims to be, fundamentalist or devout Christian, who was definitely fornicating out of wedlock, who got his then girlfriend at the time pregnant, who had 3 different kids from 2 different baby daddies. God bless her. We all make mistakes. Hopefully she has wonderful children and she loves them a lot and they're well taken care of. But judging by this whole experience and her current choice of a man, I don't know how well that's going. God bless the kids, though. Now, clearly, while he was fornicating out of wedlock, he got her pregnant. Now, because he trusts her so much, he forced her to take a DNA test just to be sure the kid was his before he married her. Which doesn't sound to me like the traditional Christian sequence, right? But who am I to judge? I'm a satanic individual, right? I have a video on why I left the church. So that's not really my area to speak on. I'm not bound by the 10 Commandments. I'm not bound by any of those teachings. But they claim to be. Maybe they go to church on Sunday and say sorry and they're forgiven. I don't know. But it doesn't seem like the Christian community really backs them or claims them or feels proud of the way that they act and conduct themselves. So, for what it's worth, a man who can't quit his vices, can't do a single push-up, can't stop himself from getting trapped in a marriage he's clearly kind of angry at and hates a little bit because he feels the need to lie about it, which I talk about in one of my other videos, why people lie about things, is because they're ashamed of them, right? Now, I don't need to go into too much more detail. That kind of covers it. But for what it's worth, fuck that motherfucker, right? Fuck that titty-having bitch. And fuck anybody who fails to protect their own children, uses them for content, sets them up with weirdos, man. I don't agree with that. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that for everybody who asked me and was curious how I feel about it. Now, I recommend you do your own research and formulate your own opinion. But when you're looking for male role models, I don't know how high up on the list Andrea Wilson should be. Prometheus out.